Saturday. Today's video, we're going to do a pantry clean out, a fridge clean out, a how to, I guess, meal plan, using what you have in your pantry already, because I know it's really hard to find some stuffs right now, and going to the grocery store, you can't really always do that every week, and just kind of how I meal plan for the week. And yeah, and also there's going to be a peanut butter chocolate chip muffin recipe towards the end, so make sure you stick around. One of my first tips is to clean out your fridge and freezer pretty much the day before trash. Now my trash day is Fridays, so I was doing this on Thursday. I just like to go through everything in my fridge, take everything out. It's kind of like the KonMari method, but for your groceries. The more you actually look at what you have, you know if it's going to go bad or if you're actually going to use it, especially with leftovers. You don't want to just keep leftovers in there hoping that you're going to actually eat them when they're just taking up space in your fridge. I also suggest to wipe down the refrigerator because sometimes you have spills or just stuff that kind of gets stuck on there if you don't clean it out at least once a week. So I used my Lysol cleaner, especially, right now I just kind of wanted to wipe everything out and disinfect it. Now you also want to make sure you are looking at what your instructions say on your disinfectant. For the Lysol that I have, you have to let it sit on there for 2 minutes. If it's not something you can actually spray, you have to saturate a towel and just kind of leave the packaging a little bit wet and it'll dry on its own and be disinfected. So right here, I was going through everything that I had. My butter was almost empty. There was, obviously, I needed to replenish that. So then I just want to put everything back in. That way I know where everything is and it just looks nice and neat and ready for the new groceries to come in. The next tip I have is to go through your pantry and your bread drawer if you have one, or wherever you keep your other food. So my pantry, you couldn't even see the bottom of it. There was just stuff everywhere. It was just paper towel, just everything. I'm sure everyone else's pantry is a mess with everyone's kids and, everyone in your house is looking for food if they're bored, just wandering in there, and everything's empty and all over the place. So I needed to clean this out. That way I could actually see what food we do have. I wanted to just pop back in and say that I hope you all are doing well. I know it's really hard right now. I'm always home with my daughter usually, but I always have, my mother-in-law and my mom to help me watch Adriana. That way I get some breaks and I can just get some other stuff done, and not having that has really gotten, a little bit harder. So hopefully we can all stay strong and just kind of see this through, and hopefully we'll get to the end of it as soon as we can and all stay safe. So I hope you are all doing well. Please let me know in the comments if you need any more encouraging words. I would love to chat with you. And can we all just look at how bad I need a haircut? Guys, my hair is so long and crazy. Can't wait for her to get it done. Okay, and my pantry was finally complete. You could see the whole entire floor. Everything has its own little spot. My snacks are where they need to be. My extra sauce container. You know, everything is just able to be seen, so you can really take a better inventory of what you have in order to actually meal plan from your pantry, which is what you should be doing, so you're really not wasting any food. Next thing now we want to do is to go through all of our clean fridges and pantries and stuff. What I did is I made sure to go through and see what I had that was expiring soon that we needed to use up, like sour cream, anything like that that might expire that I could use in a recipe, and anything I needed to replace. I also went through our regular freezer down here to see how much of each meat we had. That way I knew how many recipes I could use that meat for that I already have on hand. We also have a separate fridge over in our garage that I went through as well. So this is just a really great time to see, you know, what meats you have and what other bases that you have. I had a lot of frozen fruit, so I know I'll be making smoothies this week. I also went through the pantry now that everything was organized, so I could see how many of everything I have, pretty much. Any of my canned veggies, pasta, sauces, anything that I can use to make a dinner. My other tip is to actually go through and make a list as the week goes by. That way you know what you're out of as you're using it up. Here I also went through our cleaning supplies, especially right now. You want to make sure if you're getting like lower on something, you want to try to pick it up if you see it. The other tip is to go through your bathroom and do the same if you need, you know, deodorant, face wash, anything like that. Now that we have our list of the things that are going bad soon and the things that we can use to make meals out of, we're going to make our meal plan. Now you don't need anything fancy like what I have. This is actually from the Target dollar spot. It's really old from Christmas. You can just get another piece of paper and write down the days and what you want to have each day. Now I like to write down what I have each day because I know what I want to use up first, because certain items might not stay very long, like, you know, bread or anything that might already be going bad that you want to use up. I also mentioned earlier, but I like to keep a list of things that I know I'm going to need throughout the week as I use it up. So I've been baking a lot, so I needed some butter sticks. I also went through sugar. So a lot of that I know I need because I want to make some recipes for you guys. So I know the first one on there is lasagna, so I'm going to do a bake with me, not a bake with me, more like a cook with me, but you do bake it. For the lasagna, so that'll be coming up in a video soon. But yeah, those are some of my tips for meal planning. You really just want to use up what you have instead of buying anything else. Really saves on your budget. Alright, and now it is muffin making time. So these are all the ingredients you're going to need. You're going to need 1 3/4 cups of flour, 2/3 cups of brown sugar, 2½ teaspoons of baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 3/4 cup of milk, 2/3 cup of peanut butter, 1/4 cup of oil, 1 egg, 1½ teaspoon of vanilla, and 2/3 cup of chocolate chips. Okay, so you're going to have 2 mixing bowls, one for your dry ingredients and one for your wet ingredients. In your bigger bowl, I suggest putting your flour, which I had a terrible time trying to get out of the bag. You're also going to put your brown sugar, which I don't know about you, but my brown sugar is always packed and I have to like attack it with a spoon in order to actually measure out the amount that I need. So if you have a tip on getting your brown sugar to not compact like that, so I have to like, you know, hit it in order for it to be loose again, let me know below. You're also going to add your baking powder and your salt in that bag. or in that bowl, and you're going to mix it together. In your smaller bowl, you're going to whisk your milk, peanut butter, oil, egg, and your vanilla. So for my vanilla, I actually only had 1 teaspoon worth. So that's what I put in there, and I ate one of the muffins already, and they are really good. So I don't think it's that big a deal if you don't have the extra little half a teaspoon, but that's just what I had on hand, so that's what I put in there. I thought I had a little bit more. You're going to whisk all of that together until the peanut butter kind of comes apart. It's really not going to mix too much, but you'll kind of be able to tell once a lot of the peanut butter isn't all clumped up together. Once that is all set is when I actually put my oven on, because it didn't really take that long, because you're going to put it at 350 degrees. Once you set your oven, come back over to your mixing bowls and pour your wet ingredients into your dry ingredient. I used a flat spatula mixing thing. I'm really not a cook, so I'm not really sure what this is actually called, but maybe it's just called a baking spatula. Not really quite sure. But Adriana helped me mix it together. And you'll see the consistency it came out as, and you want to do all of this mixing to make sure you don't see any more of the lighter, like the dry powder that you had in there. That way you know it's all mixed together. Once all that's mixed together, you're just going to put your chocolate chips in and just fold them over. You don't really want to mix too hard because you don't want to squish your chocolate chips. Then you're going to line your baking pan with your cupcakes. I always use the muffin tins and the cupcake liners. As I was filling the muffins, I tried to use a smaller portion. That way I could always go back and add more. That way I knew I had enough, because this recipe makes a dozen. Put the muffins in for 20 minutes and let cook. After 20 minutes, I poked the muffins with a toothpick to make sure they were done, and they were. And they were delicious. Alright guys, and that was the muffin recipe. Let me know below if you guys give it a try and let me know how it came out. I will talk to you guys on Monday with my next video. Have a great weekend. Bye.